The screams cut through the sound of the rain like a knife. "Help! Somebody please help my mom!" The boy's voice cracked, drenched in fear and desperation. Jack Turner looked up from under the hood of an old Ford pickup, his grease-stained hands freezing in midair. He had heard that tone before, the raw panic of someone whose world was falling apart. It was the same tone he'd heard years ago, echoing through the chaos of war. Jack wasn't the kind of man who ignored a cry for help. He dropped his wrench, sprinted out of his garage, and saw a small boy, maybe 9 years old, standing in the street barefoot, soaked to the bone. They hurt her," he sobbed, tugging on Jack's arm. "Please, mister, you have to help my mom. They're going to kill her." Without a word, Jack grabbed his jacket, his old Navy SEAL instincts kicking in like muscle memory. He didn't ask questions. He didn't hesitate. He followed the boy into the dark, stormy night, toward an abandoned warehouse on the edge of town. Inside, the dim light flickered. Jack's eyes adjusted quickly. 3 men stood over a woman lying on the floor, her face bruised, her hair tangled, her wrists bound. One of them kicked her and spat. "That's what happens when you cross the wrong people, sweetheart." Jack's blood boiled. He had seen cruelty in combat, but this was personal. The next few seconds unfolded in a blur. Jack moved like a ghost, silent, precise, unstoppable. Within moments, 2 of the men were down, groaning on the floor, and the third was staring down the barrel of a pistol Jack had pulled from his jacket. "Get out," Jack growled. "No." The man ran, leaving his pride and courage behind. Jack knelt by the woman, gently cutting her free with his knife. Her eyes fluttered open, dazed but alive. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're safe now." She blinked, her voice barely audible. "You saved me. Who are you?" He didn't answer. He just picked her up, carried her out into the rain, and got her to his truck. The boy followed close, clutching his mother's purse. That night, in the soft hum of the small, town clinic, Jack sat outside the examination room, the boy curled up asleep beside him. When the doctor finally came out, he sighed. "She's lucky to be alive. Whoever did this wanted to scare her. But it could have been much worse." Jack nodded, his jaw tight. "They won't try again." When the woman woke hours later, she looked at him with tears streaming down her face. "I owe you my life. I'm Claire Donovan." Jack extended his rough, calloused hand. "Jack Turner." She froze. "Wait, the Jack Turner? The Navy SEAL mechanic from Ridgefield? The one who saved that family in the flood?" He shrugged, embarrassed. "Used to be a CL. Now I just fix cars." But that night was only the beginning. The next morning, Claire insisted on thanking him properly. She offered to pay him, but Jack refused. He didn't help for money. Still, she was persistent, grateful, and invited him to her company's headquarters once she recovered. Only then did Jack realize who she really was. Claire Donovan wasn't just any woman. She was the CEO of Donovan Motors, one of the largest automotive companies in the country. Jack felt out of place in her glass, walled office weeks later, wearing his old jacket and work boots. But Claire smiled warmly, walking toward him. "You don't remember me, do you?" she said quietly. Jack frowned. "Should I? You helped my father years ago. When his car broke down on that mountain road, you're the man who fixed it and refused payment. He talked about you all the time." Her eyes glistened. "He said people like you were the backbone of this country." Jack didn't know what to say. He wasn't used to praise. He was used to fixing engines, not hearts. But things took a darker turn soon after. The men who attacked her weren't just thugs. They were part of a corporate sabotage scheme. A rival company wanted her out of the way. And now, they knew she had someone protecting her. Late one night, Jack's shop was broken into. His tools smashed, his truck vandalized, his name spray painted across the wall with a warning axe. "Stay out of this, Cal." That's when Claire showed up at his door, trembling. "I'm sorry, Jack. They're after anyone who helps me. I should have never dragged you into this." Jack looked at her for a long moment, then shook his head. "You didn't drag me anywhere, Claire. I chose this, and I'm not about to let bullies win." The next days were chaos, a storm of threats, close calls, and fear. But Jack didn't back down. He set up security at her estate, trained her staff, and even taught her son how to protect himself. Slowly their bond grew, rooted not in gratitude, but respect. One night, as they sat on the porch watching the sun set, Claire turned to him. "You could have walked away. Why didn't you?" Jack's eyes softened. "Because I've seen what happens when good people do nothing. And I've lost too much already." Then, the final confrontation came. A fire broke out in Donovan Motors' factory, arson. Claire was trapped inside, trying to save her employees' lives. Jack didn't hesitate. He drove straight through the flames, found her surrounded by collapsing metal, and carried her out seconds before the roof gave way. When the fire trucks arrived, Claire clung to him, shaking. "You saved me again," she whispered. Jack smiled faintly. "No, you saved yourself. You just needed someone to remind you how strong you are." The weeks later, the culprits were caught. Her company recovered, and Claire returned to her office stronger than ever. But she wasn't alone this time. Jack had become her head of security, and, more importantly, part of her family. Her son adored him, calling him Uncle Jack. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Claire looked at Jack and said softly, "You didn't just save our lives. Jack, you gave us hope again." He looked out toward the horizon, hands in his pockets. "Hope's what keeps us going. The world can be cruel, but we don't have to be." And for the first time in a long time, Jack Turner, warrior, mechanic, father, felt peace. Because sometimes, the bravest battles aren't fought on the battlefield, but in the hearts we choose to save.